Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Recruit Military Live, where we'll be discussing how to unlock promising career pathways through SkillBridge. As a reminder, please feel free to drop any relevant questions or comments you may have during today's episode, or hey, just let us know where you're tuning in from. I myself am in the DFW area. My name is Raul Torres, and I'm very excited to introduce today's guests, who also happens to be a member of the Recruit Military family. So we're going to have a family affair here today. He is a retired U.S. Army officer with 18 years of active duty service, including 4 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. After transitioning through a DOD SkillBridge internship with Kraft Heinz, Lucas went on to support service members as a transition counselor and installation manager at Fort Drum in New York. Now in his 4th year with Recruit Military, he managed our company's internal SkillBridge program, hosting over 300 interns. And he's helped numerous Fortune 500 companies build and grow their own. He's here today to share what he's learned about SkillBridge programs from both perspectives, one on the manager side and 2 as a participant. So please, ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving a warm welcome to Lucas Connolly. Lucas, welcome. How are we doing today, brother?
Great. It's sunny and beautiful up here in the great state of New Hampshire, and I'm glad to be live with you today, Raul.
Awesome. Hey, I'm here in Texas. The leaves haven't fallen off yet. They haven't changed colors, but the temperature is dropping, so I'm loving it here.
Awesome.
But tell us a little bit about yourself, Lucas. Like what was your military experience like, and how, right before the lead into your transition, what'd you do?
So I was a field artillery officer in the Army, which during the GWAT era had me doing a lot of interesting things in a lot of interesting places, to include Iraq and Afghanistan. As my time with the military drew down, I heard about this great program, and there were a lot of people that didn't know much about it, the DOD SkillBridge Program. Brought that to my command, and they didn't know much about it, but once I informed them about it, they said, hey, look, this sounds like a great opportunity for you to transition to a full-time career in the military, outside of the military. And I found an opportunity with the Kraft Heinz Food Company in Lowville, New York, where they make, interestingly enough, 65% of the global supply of Philadelphia cream cheese. So if you put some Philly on a bagel between 2016 and 2019, you're welcome. Okay. I used that SkillBridge program, 180-day internship as a production supervisor, and transitioned to full-time employment, and I stayed with the company for a little over 3 years. From there, had the opportunity to go back to Fort Drum, even though I swore I was not going to be another one of those retirees telling war stories in the line down at the PX. I found myself back at Fort Drum working in the Transition Assistance Program office, where I learned a little bit more about SkillBridge from the administrative standpoint. How to get involved in the program, how to extend a command approval, how to find those great opportunities with different companies. And was really happy to see a lot of our transitioning service members utilize that program to get out. So I worked there for a little over 2 years, and then had an even more amazing opportunity to come work with this great company, Recruit Military. Somebody told somebody that I knew a thing or two about SkillBridge, and the next thing you know, we are creating our own internal DOD SkillBridge program at Recruit Military as a part of the Candidate Success Representative program. It's a fantastic program. We've had over 300 interns pass through our doors in 3 years, and still going strong. On top of that, they say success breeds an opportunity for more success. I got a chance to start working with our clients, a lot of Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 50 companies, to help them realize the opportunity that SkillBridge represented as far as bringing veteran talent to their organization early on in the opportunity cycle. So I've been working with those clients for about a year and a half now, and we've seen some great success. There's a lot of companies coming to the forefront recognizing the value in a SkillBridge program as far as being able to employ veterans and being able to capture that talent on the left-hand side of the DD-214 instead of the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I feel like once I might have started a little bit before you. And I noticed once you came in and kind of took over SkillBridge and kind of took that head on, like it feels like the program has, you know, just it's gotten a big boost. So I know that's a big part of what you do in your role with us. So that's pretty awesome. I myself was able to work with some of the with the SkillBridge interns on my end. So I kind of
Right.
saw firsthand how you worked with them and how they were prepped during their time with us, going into the civilian world. So that's awesome that you're doing that.
That's right. We've hosted interns in our IT department, in our sales department, in our strategic client initiatives department, and in your department, public affairs interns. So we've had a pretty good swath of talent come through our doors, and it's been a good time. I think we've delivered a lot of value to a lot of these folks.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? I know we're on the topic of DOD SkillBridge program, right? That's what we're talking about today. But say I don't know, I'm a transitioning service member myself. I have 10 months to get out, right? I
Mhm.
have a wife, 2 kids, 3 dogs, right? Am I eligible? Like, how does it work? How do I get
Sure.
into the SkillBridge program?
Well, first and foremost, like many other things, SkillBridge is a commander's program, and we hear that a lot, which means the commanders, at their discretion, can authorize, restrict, release service members as they see fit to participate, or limit that participation based on readiness levels. Generally speaking, though, a service member pending an honorable discharge, um, who has at least 180 days left in service and has command approval can participate. Now, your rank and your position can drive your level of participation. Um, SkillBridge is a great program, but it's not an entitlement. Right? It's not something that service members have to have. If their command can't meet their readiness needs without that service member present, it would not be uncommon for the service member to be disapproved. And some places in the military are very very sensitive. Submarines, for example, in the Navy, there tend not to be a lot of backup folks floating around in a submarine. So
Yeah.
could be hard to get released if you're in a vital role within a submarine community. But generally speaking, if you're a solid service member who's done the right things and is pending a honorable discharge, no pending action against you, and you have command approval, and you've got a solid, legitimate opportunity in front of you, you can run that paperwork through your installation administrators and get approved. The rank structure, I've seen limitations on E8s and E9s,
Okay.
O5s and O6s as strict as 60 days of participation. The mid-grade folks, E5s, E6s, E7s, O3s, O4s, about a 90-day participation. I've seen this, and they change. It changes from time to time. Commands come out with new policies. So any service member who's interested really should consult their local TAP office to see what the latest and greatest is. And then I've seen programs as long as 120 days approved for E1 through E4 and O1 to O2.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate those timelines dropped in there because there's always every program is different, right? I know you mentioned at least 180 days. In your opinion, though, if you're interested, right, what's the timeline look like as far as like, hey, I'm getting out within a year. Like, when should I reach out? So just a year out? Should I get with my with people in the TAP office?
Mm-hmm.
What do you suggest?
So participation in the internships has to happen during the 180 days. And some people get confused thinking they can't request, they can't initiate, they can't start paperwork until the 180-day mark. That's a fallacy. Service members need to understand that there's a lot that they need to do to prep up to start that. They've got to find an opportunity, right? They've got to consider their options, look at the opportunities at multiple different employers. There's lots of programs out there. There are about 3,500 plus right now approved SkillBridge host companies across the DoD. That's a lot to select, and it's a lot to sort through. So if you're waiting for the last minute, it's not a great idea. I would strongly recommend that about the 12 month mark. start exploring the options and the opportunities. Start discussing it with your chain of command. Hey, I'm thinking about this. Is this something that, potentially the command could buy off on? And keep in mind, just because you check the box on a website or find something that sounds attractive to you doesn't mean you're going to get it. I mean, there's going to be an interview process. The employer is going to take a look at your military experience, your education, decide whether or not you're a fit for the company. The ultimate goal is to employ you, right? So if you're not a fit for that company's staffing needs, they're unlikely to want to host you. So, and you're also going to want to take a little time to do some comparative analysis. Just because one company wants to snap you up real quick doesn't mean that's the right fit for you and your transition goals. If you're thinking of going into finance, but there's an opportunity with a trucking company, don't spend that time with a company that's not going to be a fit for you just because you want to get away from being at work, right? There's a lot of great things you can be doing to support your transition. Wasting your time on an opportunity that isn't a fit for your long-term goals is not the best way to spend that time.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. So we have the timeline there, right? I'm a year out. Command says, "Hey, you're good to go, man. Just find the right one for you," like you were just discussing. Where do I start, right? Obviously, you want to find. You were talking about the right fit. You don't want to be stuck, however many months in this internship that really isn't for you. So where do I start the process? If I'm someone out there listening right now, and by the way, if you're listening and you're looking, or you're in a SkillBridge internship at the moment, hey, drop it in the comments. We want to know where you're at now. But where do I start, Lucas? What does that look like?
Okay, so the DOD SkillBridge Program Office has its own website, which lists all the authorized providers and the opportunities that they have listed in their website. Google DOD SkillBridge, look for the osd.gov website, and that'll take you right to the main page. Any and all authorized, approved providers are listed there. So that's a start, making sure the company you're talking to is authorized. They have a memorandum of understanding on file. They're approved. They're legit.
Okay.
Now, that website, while it lists all the opportunities, it can be a mildly cumbersome website. So there are other places you can find opportunities as well, all of which are legit. RecruitMilitary.com has a great DOD SkillBridge landing page. We have somewhere in the range of 250 employers, all vetted, all strongly interested in bringing on military talent. So if you're looking for a slightly more curated list, come on over to our website. And we've got a great listing. We've probably somewhere in the range of 1,000 requisitions waiting to be filled, eager to be filled. So next step. Okay, let's assume you found the opportunity. You're excited about it. You interview with that employer. They're excited about you as a candidate. They're ready to give you an offer letter. They put one in your hand. You head on down to your local TAP office and ask the question, how do I do this SkillBridge thing? Point me in the right direction. Army folks are probably going to go to their Career Skills Program Installation Administrator. Career Skills Program is a program almost identical to DOD SkillBridge, just a few minor differences that most people wouldn't even notice. And generally speaking, they're also going to handle those SkillBridge applications. They'll take your offer letter, the job description, the training plan. You'll fill out an application. It'll run through your command, legal review, and then final approval authority. Once it comes back approved, you have your start date. You're ready to rock and roll. The Air Force is a little bit different. They've centralized their application process through AFVEC, the Air Force Virtual Education Center. Navy, they go through Navy TAPS as well. When in doubt, head down to your local TAPS office and ask them, who do I need to talk to about SkillBridge? If it's Army, ask the question, who do I not need to talk to about CSP? And do it earlier rather than later, because that process in some cases can be lengthy with lots of paperwork, and it's not going to get any shorter because you're running out of time.
Hey, and you guys heard it from Lucas, 12 months out. That's when, if your curiosity is peaking about that SkillBridge internship, make sure to start early. What if there's a company out there, right, that's not on that list? Because I get that question. Hey, I would really love to work for this company as like a SkillBridge intern. However, they don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. What is there anything they can do if they want to get that company on board with SkillBridge?
Yeah, absolutely. To get approved as a SkillBridge provider, that can be a little bit of a lift for different companies. So if I'm an employer and I want to get on the SkillBridge list as an approved provider, there's 2 windows of opportunity during the year that I can apply. I can apply October, November, or in February and March. So 2 60-day windows. But and I'll use my experience with Craft as an example, and I could speak specifically to Army CSP, the Army Career Skills Program. Even if a company, in the example of CSP, is not on the list, you can apply to participate in an internship with that company as a part of what they call an individual internship opportunity. You can take that company's information down to your local CSP installation administrator, usually adjacent to that Army TAP office, and run that through. It's a slightly more lengthy, more due diligence applied to that process if they're not already on the list. It goes through a legal review and a higher level of approval authority. That's exactly what I did with Kraft Heinz.
Okay.
They didn't know anything about SkillBridge. They didn't know anything about CSP. I talked to their HR manager about it and said, hey, this is an internship opportunity. I could start with you 6 months early. Strangely enough, I got a full 180 days approved. I was shocked, but I was happy to get it. Brought the paperwork down to the Career Skills Program Installation Administrator's office on Fort Drum. They ran it as an individual opportunity, and I got approved. So there are exceptions to the rule. Just because something's not on the list, if you've got a great opportunity, don't give up hope. Bring it down to your local TAP office and have a conversation with one of their counselors about it.
Lucas pioneering, getting after, man. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so we heard about Kraft Heinz. We've heard about internship opportunities. What do we have to offer, right? I know we talked about we've had 300 participants, but on our end, what does our SkillBridge program look like for those listening?
Sure. So the RecruitMilitary SkillBridge program runs what we call the Candidate Success Program. We have, excuse me, we have several hundred new candidates that come to the RecruitMilitary website on a daily basis. What we work with our interns to do is to help to improve the experience of the candidate. So our interns work with the candidate pool to help them through uploading resumes, creating resumes, getting registered for career fairs, getting access to their bevy of resources to include their benefits, and also talk through how to use the job search tools that we have. One of the great elements or the benefits of participating in our program is we have a comprehensive 13-week professional development program. We run our interns through just about every employment skill you could think of to help them be successful. Our interns have great resumes. They understand how to deliver a 30-second elevator pitch. They understand how to interview effectively. They know how to use LinkedIn and how to network for their own career success. In the end of our program, we put our interns in front of any and all, if they choose to, of our employers. We have 16,000 employers in our database, all eager to find great military talent. And whichever ones our interns want to talk to, they get the front of the line treatment. And so they get interviews with our employers, and the best of the best stay with RecruitMilitary. Okay.
So that's good for our audience to hear. You work with us, you kind of, you're obviously doing, you're helping out other transitioning vets, but you also have access, like you were just mentioning, to other companies within the program. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Maybe on the RMS Squared side and
yeah, sure.
What does that look like?
So we have a large portfolio of amazingly great companies, Fortune 50, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. I would take up the rest of the show if I mentioned them all, but some of the standouts, and these are folks that I've helped, or employers that I've helped build their programs, and now I'm helping get the word out to transitioning service members that these employers are seeking them. And we want more applications. We want more interest. I'm sitting on over 200 requisitions that we're trying to fill for these companies. WM, formerly known as Waste Management, great opportunities, great pay, great benefits. They're looking for everything from diesel technicians to maintenance supervisors, entry level, low barriers to entry. GDMS, looking for some great military technicians. UBS Bank, looking for folks who've done cybersecurity, who've done some intel analysis, who are interested in breaking into the banking industry as wealth strategy advisors or investment banking operations specialists. John Deere has a pile of opportunities. Enersys, who makes a lot of the batteries and the battery chargers that we use in our tactical radio communication systems. They're looking for interns, mostly technicians. Lineage Logistics, that's the nationwide leader in refrigerated transportation and trucking, looking for maintainers and operators and managers and supervisors. Medline, which is the #1 company for the production, manufacturing, and shipping of medical supplies nationwide. They're looking for technicians, nationwide opportunities. And we've got a pile more that are coming around the corner. HCA Healthcare is looking at expanding a program, Cisco, and even PNC Bank I'm talking with. So those ones are not locked in steel yet. They're under development. But on top of those, we've got an additional 200, 300 more companies in our portfolio, all looking for that great military talent. So if you get a chance, come by the RecruitMilitary DOD SkillBridge landing page and check out the opportunities. There's no shortage.
Yeah, that's a lot of opportunity. I just dropped it there for everyone to see. If you're interested, please take a look at like what we have available to offer, because it's not just about like our SkillBridge program. It's also about us kind of getting you in front of other companies, just like the ones Lucas mentioned. Okay, so we have our SkillBridge program. We obviously have access to other programs out there. Can you tell us about some data points on
Sure.
like how many have come through our program, or what it's looked like? How many people have been successful joining the RecruitMilitary SkillBridge program?
Sure. Of our job seeking candidates, and some people take a look at the world of employment and they realize, hey, I need to go back to school. I've had a handful decide that they wanted to reenlist, and others have just decided to retire, fully retire. Of those that worked with us that were seeking job opportunities, we're looking at above 95% success rate with getting them into job opportunities. The average salary is about $75,000. I've seen folks land $134,000, $100,000 salaries. We've aggregated of those candidates that have gone out into the workforce $8.6 million in total salary offers. So we've been very successful with that. A lot of the companies I'm working with, 75,000 is a low end. I've seen some of the RMS Squared partners are very best of the best clients, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year offers for the right candidate, for those high potential candidates. So it's not just about getting away from work for a little while. There are solid opportunities at the end of the rainbow.
Okay. And funny, we're talking about success stories. I'm looking at the comments and I see a very familiar name. I see Moses Tolliver's in the house. How you doing, Moses? Can you tell us a little bit about? I know Moses has kind of worked with us to like share his story. Can you tell us a little bit about Moses and what his successes look like?
Well, Moses was one of our best interns right from day one. I mean, he took all the lessons learned that we had to impart on him. He was a fantastic intern. And I'm afraid to say I don't exactly remember which. I know he right there his last week with us, even before he finished, he got to the end of the internship. He had a solid opportunity in front of him. Maybe Moses can remind me. I don't have it in my notes in front of me, which company it was that picked him up. Lucas is the truth. Thanks, Moses. Moses did all the right things to get himself set up for success. solid resume, solid interview skills, prepared to negotiate his salary, networking extensively, and had multiple opportunities in front of him at the end. So he did all the right things in our program, got him in front of a solid employer, nailed the interview, and now he's reaping that success. Moses, feel free to drop in the chat the name of the company. I'm sorry I blanked on it.
Yeah, and we do have Moses' story, which we'll be dropping in the chat. But that again just goes to show you kind of work with us, and we work with you, and you put in the work. And at the end, like Lucas was mentioning, Moses kind of got really solid at his interviewing skills and just all the necessary elements you need to kind of succeed at the very end of the program and onward. So that's awesome. So we've heard success stories. We've heard some data points where 95% plus of job seekers kind of come with us and find an awesome opportunity at the very end of it. Any other I wouldn't say parting words, but any other advice you would have for our listeners right now that are, even if they're not a year out, maybe they're 6 months out and they're trying to make it happen. Any advice to them on like how to move forward? Or
Sure,
because you've been on both sides, you've
Yep.
been the manager, you're overseeing now
Mhm.
job seekers on the SkillBridge end. You've also been a part of it. Like, what is the feeling? What are they going to expect when they come in?
So first and foremost, start exploring your options very, very early. There are right now in the database, the DOD database, 3,500 plus SkillBridge providers. That is a lot. So start doing your research early, start asking a lot of questions, start talking to a lot of employers about what they have to offer, so that you find one that fits your transition goals and your post-military career goals. Second, treat it very seriously. All right, this is an opportunity you're going to have to interview for. This is not a gimme. Performance matters. Just because you've got that internship doesn't mean you're just going to slide on into a job. You need to show up where you need to be, right place, right time, right uniform, right attitude, doing the job that employer has laid out for you. You have to meet their expectations. You're not a guaranteed hire just because your commander signed off on your packet. And with that in mind as well, keep in mind that this program does not guarantee employment. Things can change. Companies can go through financial ups and downs. The market can change, and sometimes those opportunities can slip you by. Or maybe after 3 months, you decide that this opportunity just isn't the right fit for you. So have a backup plan. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's a great program, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah, great words. Again, if you're listening, we in the comments drop down, obviously Moses' success story. So check out what that looked like. And also how to take a look at our RecruitMilitary SkillBridge opportunities. We also dropped that link in the chat. But hey, Lucas, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for dropping knowledge on all of us about SkillBridge, both sides, what it looks like, the expectations, and hopefully all you listeners out there kind of take advantage of it. Whether you're in a SkillBridge opportunity right now or you're maybe 2 years out, maybe you're a year out, I would probably heed Lucas's advice on how to move forward. But again, thanks for your time, Lucas. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Take care.